Everybody ready?
I'm missing some.
We good?
We're good.
I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome everybody to the March 19, 2019 public meeting. It's official time at 6 o'clock. This time I need approval of the agenda. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Tonight we've got is our pleasure to have Logan Brasher with our First Baptist Church Minister of Music. Is that correct? Pastor of Music will be leading us in an invocation and a pledge.
Thank you, folks. Let's pray together. Father, we recognize at this moment your glory and your sovereignty over us. We know that nothing comes as a surprise to you, the good and the bad. And so, Lord, we know that you have placed every person here for a purpose, though we may not know what that purpose is yet. Lord, I pray that you would guide the minds of these decision makers that have been elected by the people of Jones County. And I pray that we would all work together for the betterment of our community and for your glory. In the name of Jesus, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank Logan again for filling in for us. If we go on with our board appointments tonight, I want to apologize on this, and I wasn't prepared at the last meeting, and it was tabled, and I had done a lot of work on other agenda items, and I should have been doing it on all of them. But this is appointment to the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities, representing Jones County to complete a 3-year term ending June 30th of 2021. Mr. Burt King's been very active in this, and his application has been submitted. And the board's will, I'd like y'all to consider him for this position. I'd entertain a motion at this time.
I make a motion that we appoint Mr. Burt King.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second. We have a second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board.
Our second board appointment tonight, we have appointing Laura Rackley to the Jones County Development Board as the 8th member of the board to represent Jones County Board of Education for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2022. We learned last week that we're allowed to have up to 9. Isn't that correct, Commissioner Martin? 9 members, and the board thought it would be great with her College and Career Academy to be a part of this board. With that said, I entertain a motion to appoint her to the Board of Development Authority.
So moved, John.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. We move on to our consent agenda approval for the minutes. We have the first Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. We also have executive session at March 5th, 2019. If everybody had an opportunity to look at the minutes, if so, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Second. No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. If we move on to new business, budget amendment request for Haddock SCADA System and for a roof on the shop. Mr. Pelkey, you want to?
Good evening.
Good evening.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a SCADA system placed in our Haddock area. And what's unique about this SCADA system, when they designed it for Jones County, it was one of a kind. It was like a prototype. And they designed the software, the components strictly for Jones County. And so there wasn't anything other than this system to go by. And I sat with Jason, and when we decided to do the Haddock area, to use the same type of SCADA system in the Haddock area to keep it compatible when it comes time for repairs and technicians and software. Everything's compatible. So I approached Jason with what the price was, and being that we really couldn't take it out for bid because of the type of unit that it was and who designed it for us. So I'm asking to see if we could take money out of the sewer line item that I have into the Haddock line item to pay for this. It was a line item that when we doing the budget, we applied funds for this to use for some of the repairs in River North, which we used the contingency funds instead. So I'm asking if we can just take some of that money, move it over to the Haddock line item. And we're currently getting bids for a shop, roof on a shop. And I'd like to do the same thing, just take the money out of this certain account and move it into a line item for water. Just basically moving funds from sewer to water and Haddock.
Any question from the board for Mr. Pelkey?
One question, Chairman, and it may be a legal question. Is the River North sewer specified only for River North, or can we or is it in the general fund where we can transfer it?
Well, this particular line item is just for lines, main
Sewer in
lines and
general.
sewer repairs.
Okay, so it wasn't dedicated
No.
in River North through the River North tax?
Right.
All right. Commissioner Martin?
Estimated cost of the addition for the SCADA system?
It was $34,000, which you could have got a lesser type of SCADA system with a different company, but then you're dealing with different technicians, different software, different components, and we kind of wanted, sat with Jason and team to try to get it as uniform as we could. And being that we have a track record with J.K. Dern, we haven't had any problems with this, and the customer service is on the spot. So in terms of price, it probably was a little bit higher than others, but in terms of what we're getting out of this system and the lack of problems that we've had, to me, I think it's.
How many customers in Haddock?
300.
Like 1,400 per customer.
Well, to me, it's well worth it. I'm a fan of this type of system, and we had a company come and gave us a lesser one, and we were just sat down with Tim and others and just said we probably need to focus on J.K. Dern, the SCADA system.
Okay. And how many problems have we had in Haddock that would, and again, I'm a fan of automation and being able to cut stuff off, but if we haven't had those sort of issues and the infrastructure there, it's great. Is there a better place to put $34,000?
Well, what happened in Haddock is that they had an old telemetry system and it went down. And we tried to get parts for it. We couldn't even get parts for it. So what he was doing, he was running the system manually. And he was having to get up at 9, 10 o'clock at night to shut things off. So we had to make a call on it. And I just like the J.K. Dern type of system.
Okay.
Would this give you the ability to view what's going on in Haddock?
Oh yeah.
At the water department?
Yes, I can do it on my phone. We got it on our phone, and we're running it now.
Any more questions?
So will this complete everything on the system?
SCADA
Or
system?
SCADA?
You can do anything with the SCADA system. And in terms of water, yeah, we're
water.
covered.
The water system, and anything else need to be on SCADA?
Well, you can. My desire is to get the lift stations on SCADA system.
I'm talking about just water.
Yeah, water's complete.
So if you're looking at adding the lift stations at a later date, is there a reason why we don't look at it completely to get a better price?
Well, I don't think they looked at it, prior to me putting it on SCADA. When I came in here, my desire is to get it on the SCADA. It'll be, I can't explain what happened prior to me, but.
Right, but I'm just talking about now, like if you want to do that, why not incorporate that into the cost?
Well, no, I didn't think about that. On that one.
That's my one good day of the week. I'm done.
Yeah.
So how many lift stations? Because that's.
Well, we got 9, so it'll be a pretty steep.
Right, but to me, lift stations are significantly more important. No offense to Haddock, but the lift stations is, to me, very serious. I could be wrong, though. You
Well,
tell
we
me.
have an alarm system on the lift stations
It's your
now.
lift station, you won't be wrong.
Where most of the clients are, right?
So we have an alarm system on lift stations now, but it's starting to get adequated. So I just, it works, but I'm just looking ahead. I didn't know if I could financially take that all at once right now, but I kind of had to make a call quick with him running it the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, personally, I'd like to see the whole system. And don't get me wrong, if it's 9 lift stations and 200 customers, that 9 more doesn't seem that much more significant to me, as opposed to taking this bid and then coming back afterwards. I just think we get a better price, but I don't do water. You tell me.
Right now, we're doing within his budget. Any kind of below his budget we do on that, which I think we need to go eventually to where they can be at one point, whether he's sitting on his recliner at home and gets a emergency alert. It could, especially on the lift station. But right now, I think Mr. Peck was trying to work within his budget. And, I commend him for that.
Well,
It's a pretty high budget. But.
All right, just to be clear, so we had an emergency situation that you had to make a repair. So is this SCADA system already in place, and the amendment, budget
Yes.
amendment is to move the money
yes,
to that line item?
to that line item. Yeah.
Not to accept the bid for the.
Right.
No, just to move it.
All right. Well, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I make that motion that we move money from the sewer line into water to pay for the SCADA and Haddock.
All right. I have a motion. I have a second.
I'll second with a friendly amendment to bring back cost on the lift stations too, because I do think that's important.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Let's have it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Parks and Recreation Program, Mr. Goins, you have something for us tonight?
Yes, sir. I actually had 2 things.
Excuse me, Matt. Were you finished about the roof?
Well,
The motion didn't cover the roof.
Uh-oh.
Right.
yes.
We missed the roof, didn't we? We got the SCADA system.
Mr. Pelkey,
In the car, there's no wheels.
Mr. Pelkey, yeah, Mr. Pelkey 2.0.
Well, basically, we're getting bids for the roof on the shop. It's old, and anytime we get a type of wind, you got shingles all over the ground. So basically, I'm asking it's kind of the same thing, taking that money once we get the bids together, and taking that money out of that particular line item that we had stored for the sewer into the building line item for water, whenever that comes. Just transferring it.
Go back with shingles, or you going metal, or
Well, we're getting both bids on metal and shingle.
look at which route? How many layers of shingles you got on right now, do you know?
It looks like just one
Okay.
that I can see.
That's more economic than if you have multiple layers.
Yeah, and it's a simple,
Barely one.
Barely.
yeah, it's a simple gable end type of roof, so it's nothing major.
Wasn't there something about a roof in 2015 or so?
It's on the other building.
The other building.
Yeah.
That's the office. This is the
buildings,
shop
two
out
roofs?
back, isn't it?
Shop in the back, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a complete redo on the current one.
How much money is in that sewer line item? Just to have
Right now it's
perspective.
$116,000. Because we were planning on doing when the repair, when that exposed line out there at lift station number 1, when we were doing the budget, we kind of earmarked it in that line item, but we took it out of the contingency fund instead, so it's just there.
Okay.
I need a motion to allow him to amend his budget based on the winning bid on the roofing project.
So move.
So moved. Have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right,
Thank you. Now we can go to Parks and Rec.
No, I'm going to ask for money out of his line item.
Now that we know what's left.
That's right. No, I'm here tonight to talk about two programs. One we've been working on for a while, and we did it last year. We're trying to grow on it this year. I have recently gone and gotten SafeSurge certified through the state of Georgia to be a site supervisor for a feeding program. And I got a meeting Friday with Miss Roslyn with the Board of Education Nutrition Department. We're going to do our summer feeding program, but that's a lunchtime only. And we're trying to grow that into serving dinner as well. And I've been working with Jason and working around with Commissioner Martin also finding the location. Me and Don spent some time talking about his fire station, utilizing 49 Fire Station, Station 1, correct? Station 1 has a potential site to feed dinner during summer months. So we would hopefully feed them at Maddie Wells like we did last year for lunch, and then feed them at Fire Station number 1 for dinner. If this is something that the board is wanting to move forward with, I'll be going to class April 9th and 10th to sponsor training for a summer feeding service program. And then that'll get us qualified to be able to host and serve and feed kids throughout the summer. Now there's another portion of this that I'll come back later on, which is at-risk enrichment program, which feeds kids during school time at night. That's a separate program. This is focusing just on summer time feeding. So the first program I'm here is to ask permission to do the summer feeding program at Fire Station number 1, working with Don to get the logistics worked out.
Anybody on the board have any questions, Mr. Cohen? None? I'll entertain a motion for his request.
So moved.
So moved. We have a second. No more discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
And the second program is another one I've been working on for a while, and applied for a grant through TriCounty last year, got denied, reapplied March 1st, and got approved. So we got $2,000 coming from the Operation Roundup grant from TriCounty for the First Readers Foundation program. It's a literacy program where families that have children from 0 to 5 will get a book a month when they sign up through the program. I don't want to misspeak. I need to read it, so I'll make sure I read it right. With that, Ms. Marlowe with the Board of Education, but it's not really through the Board of Education, so I don't want anybody to think it's being done with our local Board of Education funding. It's not. It's been done through Jones County Literacy Alliance, which is Joe Cola. Will match that $2,000 with another $2,000. So that gives us $4,000. It's coming through a federal grant that the Joe Cola got. So with that being said, I'm here tonight to announce that we're going to be doing a literacy program through Parks and Recreation in conjunction with the Jones County Lions Club and Joe Cola. What I'm here tonight is to ask the board to also match that $2,000 grant and the $2,000 match from Joe Cola to give us a total of $6,000. What that does is right now with the $4,000 we're allowed to, that gives us enough money to get books to 111 families for 1 year. Another $2,000 will take us right at 200 families, actually a little over 200 families a year, 1 book a month. And the way they sign up online or sign up through our department, and then the book gets mailed once a month, and it's age appropriate as they go from 0 birth up to 5 years old. The book changes and so on. So with that being said, I'm here tonight to ask for y'all to please consider matching $2,000 for a total of $6,000 into this program.
Any questions?
The Rotary Club does a fundraiser for a book drive like this also. You may want to touch base with them.
They used to have this program years ago, and it fell silent for some reason, and that's where I picked it up from.
I think one of their fundraisers now is for this, so you may want to see if they want to join.
I think we got the president right here, don't we?
Do you have a time? Do you have a timeline on this?
Is that correct?
I don't remember in the last couple of years doing anything for it,
Okay.
but now they might have before that. And I think they did sponsor the program at one time.
Yeah.
They did, but they don't.
Is there a timetable on needing this? The reason I'm asking is if we could take it to the Rotary and see if that's an option, and if not, then bring it back to the board at the next meeting and vote, because I 100% support it. But that would be great to not come out of the fund balance.
Yeah.
Contingency.
You got somebody get you an invite in on
Well, my plan is to visit every civic organization and ask them for their own private individual contribution, separate from the Board of Commissioners.
and each and every board of commissioner, right? Putting you on the spot all of a sudden.
I move that we match $2,000 and hope that all the other entities do a $2,000 match as well.
I'll second it, Chairman, if it's appropriate, and ask that we work with the Joe Cola to make sure that, or try our best to get these books recycled back into their program, because they have so many that are available for people to come and pick up and go. So maybe the students that get the free books, just promote somehow to recycle those once they go to age 2, 3, and 4. They turn their 1, 2, and 3 books back in, and so that we can. Yeah, I'm amending that motion with a long drawn out. Yeah, I would ask for a friendly amendment to recycle any books that are sent out. Promote recycling of the books.
See, we got a friendly amendment. You're all right with that?
Absolutely.
All right, we got a friendly amendment and a friendly second. So, any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Matt, real quick, Joe Cola, that's Joe?
Jones County.
Literacy.
Oh, okay. Jones County.
You seen the bus?
Jones County Literacy Alliance.
That's the same as the bus, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, sir.
Jackson City may want to get in on that too.
I'm going to visit them. Don't put all that. Don't tell them I'm coming.
I'm laughing at that.
Hey, we got a spy in the mix. Go ahead.
You want to go and make a motion for the city on that while you're back there? Mr. Mayor Pro Tem? All right, moving forward tonight, we have a beer and wine license for Per Mohammed Kamdar from Czar Food Mart Incorporated.
Chairman, board members, the recommendation is to approve the application for the beer and wine license for Mr. Kamdar for that Zara Food Mart, which is at the Gray Highway end of Georgia.
I move that we approve the beer and wine license application.
I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 3-1. .4H program assistant reclassification, Mr. Jackson.
How are y'all?
Hello.
Sir?
Good. How about you?
Oh, good. Recently, my 4-H program assistant resigned and moved to the library. And when that happened, the university called me and asked if we wanted to reclassify the position to what they refer to as a 4-H educator position. What that would do is the position would require a bachelor's degree. It would be a salaried position. And that would be it. The only difference would be is that it's a $30,000 minimum salary that the university wants to send the remaining balance from the existing budgeted position to bring it up to that $30,000. I may have said that in a really confusing way, but they are. So basically what they want to do is send $5,000 either annually or quarterly to bring the position up to that educator position if y'all approve it to go to that.
And they are funding it, not, that's completely state funded position.
It would not be, it would remain with our current position of a 4-H program assistant. They would just tack on that $5,000 onto what we would already pay now.
We pay a portion of that salary.
Yeah. So right now it's
indefinitely though. I mean, they would, as long as the position is titled that, they.
Yes, sir. And we are pending a contract from them right now for them to send a contract saying this is what we will pay and the time frame of when we will send payment.
So basically, they're funding the difference in the amount.
Funding the difference, and we'll hopefully it'll hopefully garners qualified people to serve and all of that.
Any questions for Mr. Jackson?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 5 on our new business is a request for approval to purchase a new or used van to replace a van at EMA which has 419,000 miles and needs a transmission. It's just now getting broke in, isn't it?
Possibly.
Is it diesel?
Yes, it was. It was a Chevy. It's not a diesel. This vehicle we purchased back in March the 26th in 2003. Got it from a auction down there on Pinona Avenue for $8,100. It's a 98 Chevrolet 2500 van, gas, with 119,000 miles on it. It was one of the old telephone trucks. Actually, the agenda's wrong. I'm not looking for a new vehicle, wishful thinking, but I think that with our maintenance fella that he takes care of his truck and can get some miles out of it, and I think we can go a long way with a used vehicle. So I'm looking for something under 10,000, but the reason why I'm here tonight is to ask for your blessings for I'll be spending splash on that because it's going to be right at $8,000 or $9,000. And I didn't see how I could apples to apples when I went out for bid. It was just everything's so different. What I'm looking at, I've been looking on for the last couple of weeks on this thing. Typically, we're looking at a 2013, 2014, either a Ford or a Chevrolet, and it's going to be right at 100,000 miles. The cargo type that's got the cage in the back because he carries a lot of tools in the back, and I don't want him to get hurt if he's in an accident. But we could get a panel for a lot cheaper, but I think that the cargo will be fine, and I'll probably go down there to the auction and try to pick up one.
Well, it's nice too if you get it off a fleet like
yes,
one of the phone companies or gas companies like that. They've been maintained. So.
I'm looking at one with Georgia Power right now. It's nice.
Give Groom a call too, because we used to buy their off lease vans.
Okay. I saw that on the internet too.
You got all kind of options, and like I said, I've seen several of my contractors. That's what they're using now. Is rather than buying new, they're buying these off fleet trucks, and they're doing real well.
I'm just gonna go with the white with the sticker on it, and just go with it.
All right.
See if we can get another
300,000.
I'd like to.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second. Second. Any more discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
I appreciate that. Now, what do I need to do with the van? Can we put it
surplus?
John's not here. Put it in surplus down at the shop and wait for the next auction to go out. Okay.
Sure.
It's got a blown head gasket too.
He said 419,000 is just now getting broke in.
I don't know how.
Yeah, good deal. All right. Move on to new business. Number 6, a resolution to support Jones County participating in the rural broadband expansion through the East Georgia broadband. Mr. Risner, I think this is your expertise on this one at this point.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So before you have a resolution that is also being considered by boards of commissioners in 7 other counties, kind of along the route that would be covered by this East Georgia Broadband Initiative. At this point, there's no formal commitment associated with this. We just are looking to get some type of formal support from each board along the route, and it appears to be beautifully worded here, and I'd be happy to read it to y'all if you want me to. But
you wrote it, right?
I did, yes, sir. But basically, what you're sort of towards the end here, you're just saying that you fully support the East Georgia Broadband Initiative, and then be it further resolved that you acknowledge that county resources will be required to successfully complete the project, and you pledge to allocate the necessary resources subject to the established budget processes and procedures, which basically says, at some point county resources may be required, and you may be called upon to allocate some through your normal budget process. So you're not tied down to anything, but it is a good expression of your support of this effort.
Sure. Any questions for Mr. Resner?
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Second. Don't look like any more discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Well, we're doing good tonight. Bunch of ayes. All right. Multimodal grant application. Who's working on this?
I'll take that one too, Mr. Chairman. You may recall, or you may not, it's been quite a while, about 2 years ago, right at 2 years ago, I think this board approved an application for a multimodal grant that went through the State Road and Tollway Authority. The Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank, I think, is the entity that was accepting these, and the Regional Commission put together an application for us. And it would have been for sidewalks along Highway 49, kind of in front of the Maddie Wells Community Center, the school, and then the kind of ending at the Highway 49 recreation complex there. And at that time, we were told that we didn't receive the grant. Last week, I got a voicemail from the multimodal engineer with GDOT, and he said, we're reviewing old projects that weren't funded. We still have money left over. One, are you still interested in the project? And two, if you are, can you come up with the available match? And it's a 70-30 program, so we would be responsible for 30% of the cost. The estimate at that time was $197,800. So our portion will be $59,340. Basically, just wanted to ask the board those two questions: are you interested, and would you be willing to come up with those matching grant funds if GDOT were to award this funding to us? So just kind of wanted to get everybody's thoughts on that.
Mr. Martin?
It's part of a long dream to have the connection from the Maddie Wells Center right down to our park, and of course down to the shopping area. So I'm excited and hope that this board will help to find the resources to get it done.
All right. Any more questions?
Well, Jason, will this all be built on DOT right away?
I think so, although I don't know that for sure. This application and the application process was very simple. They didn't require any type of engineered drawings or anything that would show exactly where the sidewalk would be located. So I don't know for certain, but I imagine that it would be.
Any more questions, Mr. Thomas? No. All right. Now I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second. Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All ayes? Ayes have it. Thank you. Department head, who wants to start first tonight? Pelkey? Oh, I know Matt's coming up. That's a given there.
Two more things. The lighting upgrade that we asked for from Ms. Wade is still in progress. Hope to have something for you at the next meeting. So that is not fell to the wayside. We're still working on it. But one thing I didn't, from the last meeting or 2 meetings ago, I couldn't remember when it was, we talked about TriCounty come out there and looked at putting lighting from the old park where the concrete steps come up to the new park, crossing that gravel parking lot. It was $900 for the initial installation, and then a residual $90 a month for the lighting of the 5 lights going across the parking lot for safety. I'm just coming back for follow-up because I could not remember what the final was. So I basically re-asking permission to do this again.
Didn't we approve it before?
It's not in the minutes.
I didn't, now I'm not good at looking. I looked, but I didn't see it.
I'm not good at looking.
I looked.
That research.
Yes.
I believe all of our wives would admit.
It should have
That's a
been in the
correct
minutes
statement.
if it's either a consensus or a vote.
Then
Now, I don't.
it might have just been it might have just been conversation. So I'm here tonight to ask permission to get Tri-County to put the lights in, and then permission to, obviously, our light bill will go up by $90 for the lighting crossing that parking lot.
Well, those LED lights
They will be, yes, sir.
and 5 of them,
Yes, sir.
$90.
And none of the other parks need any lights. I mean, we're good at them.
Yeah, the only reason we're needing to put them, we already have lights lighting the parking lot, at the outer edges and things. What we don't have is from the old part to the new part, basically like this area here, when people have, if a family has a daughter playing up here and a son playing down here and they're transit from one to the other, they're walking across that parking lot, and by the time they get out to the middle of it, the lighting from the outer edges isn't reaching. And so we're just trying to make it illumination all the way across.
Right. I mean, there's no other parks that's got this
Issue?
issue.
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
Not at this time. I'm not going to.
I think we had talked about this before. It was a go to for security reasons. Isn't that correct? So I think it was. But since everybody fine with them going forward with it, give me a motion. That way we do it right.
I'll make a motion. We move forward, letting Tri-County put in 5 lights, and Matt's going to find the $90 a month in this budget.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get it right with the motion. Graham?
Nothing tonight, sir. Thank you.
Wow. Mr. Risner?
I've got a couple things I'll mention real quick. One thing that I wanted to ask for the board to provide their thoughts on. So we're wrapping up the library project. They're working towards a grand reopening on April 4th, I believe it is. So if you haven't gotten anything on that yet, you should soon. There's a street, and the name escapes me, but it runs right next to the library and kind of runs back to the Forest Avenue. There we go. Thank you. Runs back to the health department. I think the street's been in place a long time, and then that combined with construction traffic, the street could use some resurfacing. We got an estimate for the contractor that was doing the parking lot to also do the street. The library board was interested in having the city resurface that street, and in conversations with the mayor, he indicated that the city would be, it was $8,400 was the estimate. The mayor indicated the city would be willing to fund half of that if the county could fund the remaining $4,200. So just kind of wanted to get everybody's thoughts on that. And I think it's something, from a budgetary standpoint that we could do out of the, out of the regular public works budget, but just kind of wanted to get everybody's thoughts on that. And Ashley and I were talking earlier about any issues that might be involved with the county doing a city street. And I don't know if you had a chance.
I think it would be legal as far as an intergovernmental agreement. It would just be, I know the board spent a pretty penny on the renovations, whether or not it was something the board would want to do. But legally, it could be done. It could be arranged.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, my thoughts, the county funds 100% of the library, salaries, maintenance, upkeep, everything with the library. And isn't there some matching funds for this grant for the renovation?
On the library renovation, we had county SPLOST dollars and state library funds. Okay. You might be thinking about the sidewalk project where we had some city participation in that, I think.
But, with that said, I think the city would, be glad to, to repave that street. Being a city street and right beside the library. That's my thoughts.
It's open for discussion. Anybody else?
Personally, I don't, we need the street paved, I think. I wrote it when we were looking at the renovations to it, and definitely needs to be done. I think that's the only section between the road and the parking lot getting into it that's not been repaved. So, I mean, I personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's, I do understand, I don't want to set a precedence that we're, splitting funding city streets, but I think that's basically is no longer it is an extension of the parking lot for the library, and for that reason I wouldn't have a problem just making sure it got paved.
Ms. Martin, any comment, question?
I think the city should take care of it. Plain and simple.
I was open for a motion.
Well, are you asking that they decide on this at this time, or you're just sort of presenting that? Do they?
We're just giving him consensus to what to do, I guess.
I mean, I could go back to him and say, we had a couple that expressed reservations about it, and I mean,
No, if you were actually bringing it up before the board for them to make a motion on it.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Chairman?
It needs to be done, and the fact is, the city is, we're getting some partnership, alliance going on, and I hope we can go further with this partnership alliance. Definitely on the county side, we want to be a good partner with the city. Yes, it is a city street. I think we mentioned the TE project was all done within the city. I think I don't know. Like I said, it just having the city been willing to come forward and partner with us is a move in a positive direction. I'm not gonna sit there and say it needs to be done. I mean, we've gone this far with the library. I hate to stop now. We give Jason permission to talk with them, because I think we've got something else, that needs to be brought to their attention too on some other stuff we've done.
Well, then I think you do need a motion so you know what to talk to them about.
Yeah, that might be good. And I think we would, if we can, and time is short, I know, but we'd love to get it done before the grand reopening there. Yeah,
which is
till like 2 weeks away.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if we can get it done. Even if y'all give me the okay right now, I'm not certain that we could get it done.
It can be done that time of manner, 2 weeks. I think what we need is a motion for him to go forward to talk with the city on the street and past T project. I think there's
what are y'all telling? Make a motion as far as what you want him to tell the city. Are you all in agreement with paying half or not?
No, I don't agree that we should pay part of it.
So make a motion.
Pay the city street.
Make a motion then that the county not contribute funds.
Okay, I make the motion that the county not contribute to the paving of the street beside the library, since it's a city street, and since the county funds the library 100% of everything I said.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
We're split.
So it dies for lack
It died for lack of a.
So right now you have nothing to go back and tell them.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, so you did not agree. Okay, all right, so it died.
Well, it didn't die, but it just didn't happen. We can still revisit it. All right. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry that one took so long. just going to let you know we're working on a number of different bid documents, the bulk rock, chemicals, pipe, fuel. We're also working on our LMIG funding, and want to let you know that. One other GDOT related item, Jack Reed, who's our district coordinator out of District 3, he called and said that they are making available some additional LMIG money this year for safety related measures. There's $50,000 available for each jurisdiction within the district. You do have to match that with $15,000, so the total project cost would be $65,000 or less. The eligible items are striping, signage, and raised pavement markers. And so the only catch here with this is there's a April 1st deadline, and I just was notified of it a day or maybe two ago, and so, but what they said is that we can come back if the board would allow me to work with Public Works to develop a list to submit to them. We can bring that list back to you before we expend any money or accept any money. We just need the okay to go ahead and submit a list. And my thought is to use $15,000 of already budgeted money in Public Works to serve as the match. I mean, we already have striping money in the budget and money for signage and that type of thing. We just use that, and you're just leveraging it to access this $50,000 in GDOT money. So they have a list of roads that they would like us to use it on, where there's a history of accidents and that type of thing. But as long as the striping or signage is in need of upgrade, wherever the board likes, they're good with us using it in those spots. So,
Yep. We need a motion to allow Jason to create a list for.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
all right.
Jason, can you give us a quick update on the LMIG, where we are from last year's LMIG?
Okay, so we have completed Coma Road reclamation and resurfacing. We've completed Round Oak Juliet Road, Stallings Road. I talked to John yesterday, I think it was. They still need to go up there and, I don't know what the right term is, rip up the road, spray the Parmesan in, pack it back, and then it'll be ready for the prime and for asphalt. He was hopeful that in the next week or 10 days they can get back up there and start that work. Something that he and I have got to work through that we were talking about is, do we try to do that under the old LMIG contract, or do we just say that one's finished and put that on this new one that we're about to bid out? And that's going to take some checking to see what asphalt prices have done. And, I don't know how many months it's been since we originally bid that work out. And if the contractor would even, hold its price from 6 months ago or 9 months ago, whenever it was we bid that work out. So, but that's generally where it is. So we've still got that. I think we've still got the patches on Stagecoach, and there's about 100 feet at the end of Cumslow Road where it runs into 49 that needs to be milled out and resurfaced. So
I guess what I was going with that is if Stallings if we can determine that's finished and have a little money left over in that, because I think where we're going to wind up now with Stagecoach is, I think way back when we identified 9 or 10 potholes that we were going to repair, and
more than that now.
Yeah, because we had talked about resurfacing the road, and we didn't. We went to in my opinion, the cheap way and just put some patches on it. But there's a lot more potholes in it now.
Okay.
So.
I'll talk with John. We'll revisit that one
The
too.
reason I know is because when I picked my 5-year-old up from school and we're on it, she says, "Papa, we're on the bumpy road. You need to fix this." So, that's bad.
Yeah.
Quick question on Comer. You say they're completely through on Comer?
I think so.
I've got 2 calls wanting to know if, because we've got a sharp drop off now with the new asphalt, if they were
Okay.
going
Dress up the edges.
to dress up the edges. And
I'll check with John on that.
all right. I've had, ironically, this week you talked Comer, it just jogged my memory that I've had 2 calls wanting to know that we were going to dress up the edges because it's kind of a little drop there now.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it looks good. I went through it and it's smooth. You can ride a bicycle on it now.
Good.
It's great.
Update on Great Highway Bridge.
So I don't have anything official from GDOT.
Equipment's out there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They delivered equipment out there today, I think.
Okay.
So
We might be getting ready to do something.
Yeah.
I've got a friend that's an engineer with a bridge contractor, and this is all highly unofficial. So if this is wrong, forgive me. But he told me a couple of weeks ago they were the low bidder on the project. They expected to get a notice to proceed from GDOT the week of maybe March 5th. And he said they'd probably get 45 days to do the project. So it's a rapid response GDOT project. And so, it should be finished like late April if I had to guess. But he's going to keep me posted on that. So as I get updates there, I'll pass those along to y'all.
Fair enough.
All right. And then we have guests tonight signed in. Miss Brenda, you'd like to speak tonight? Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Brenda Barkley, and I live at 171 Sun Valley Drive. And it's real uplifting to hear you all solving the county problems tonight. I really liked it. But I think I talked to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you never did call me back. But I wanted to know, I'm Sunset Harris next door neighbor. He's been the fighter of our calls over there in the Sun Valley Estate. And he was showing me the letter that he had received about the grinder hookup. And I didn't receive one, so I called and I talked to him. And he was saying there's some kind of engineering problem in that. And what he heard, they were going to stop at that resident, Sunsets. So I've been over there 31 years. I'm a taxpayer, and we have a problem over there in that area. We got a smelly problem. You can smell the sewage around there. And I just want to know what is the problem, why are they stopping right there, because I'm very disappointed.
So going way back, it's a 2015 project, I think. So probably back into 2014, as they're developing these projects, they come up with a target area, and they have to qualify that target area based on the income of all the people in it and that type of thing. And so for various reasons, they come up with a specific target area, and unfortunately, you're one house beyond the target area.
Oh, what can we do to keep that project going? It's not right. As far as I'm concerned, it's not right, because that's the area what Sunset Harris has been really fighting for right in there, and they started way around on another street. And when they get right, I think they probably just, and I'm glad they working on with Sunset because he really fought hard. I really think they stopped there to appease him because he's a fighter, and he's willing to help me to fight on. So we want to know, what can we do to keep this project going? Do we need to apply for another grant or what? Because I wouldn't want it to stop right there.
Yeah, I certainly understand. So I think, the grant funds that we received, I think we probably have to use them in that target area. The board could look to come back, at some time in the future and expand that target area out. Our engineer and I were talking just before the meeting about that situation, and one thing we really need to do is go back and encourage people that are in that target area to apply. I think we've only gotten 8 that have come in so far and submitted their deposit to sign up for service.
But I didn't receive a letter.
Because you're outside of that area. You're outside of the boundaries of that area. And so that's why you didn't receive one.
It's strange to me because I'm right next door to Sunset. It's very strange. I'm exactly next door to him.
So a lot of vacant property up there. That's what a lot of those residents are not even occupied.
And a lot of them are renters. We actually homeowners.
Right.
So I just can't understand it. I want to know what can I do to help keep this project going. If it's up to me, I want to know what can we do, the rest of us.
And it may be a situation where, we've got the grant funds to do that specific area. There may be a way for others just outside that area to tie on. Now we won't have grant funds to do it, so it's probably going to cost. Whereas those people are having it paid for by the grant funds, people outside that area may have to pay for it on their own. But there may be a way that you could tie on to the sewer that way.
Well, I'm not part of the grant fund. I pay taxes. Been paying them 31 years over there.
And I'm going to jump in and bail Jason out just a little bit. And it's not really Jason's issue. It comes down to economics, really. If your household is above the income threshold when the CDBG survey came through.
They must didn't check on me because I've been retired since 2015.
Right, but your retirement wages, and if it's a dual income household, may still be above that particular income level. And when the survey came out, I walked with them a good bit. The old water director walked with them a good bit, and not everyone responded. So that also affected the income level of those areas. And as you mentioned, a good bit of them were vacant. We also had some homeowners who were not in the area, and it made it real difficult to even get this project approved because we had not enough people responding. And then for that group that did get approved, they met the income guidelines. And that's CDBG, that's federal dollars. We don't make the rules on that. And what Jason is saying is absolutely correct. If you're outside of it, there's a way to potentially pay. And I don't know if there's another study that we may or may not do in the future. I don't know that, and he can't guarantee that either. But if it's still unoccupied or you have people above the income level, you still wouldn't qualify. It's like free and reduced lunch,
Okay, well, see, I'm retired now, but when y'all were doing the survey, y'all probably couldn't get me because I was working.
Oh.
So I want to know how much that would be, who would I talk to for that? I really would like to get in on the grant because I'm poor just like the rest of them around there.
Today, but I don't know when CDBG may be available again, and we'll have to look at that when that time happens. And again, it comes back to resources. CDBG allocates a certain amount of dollars at a particular time, and we were blessed at that time to be able to get in. I'm sorry that you missed it. Hopefully, if something else happens, maybe we can look at it further.
All right. Well, I intend to stay on it.
Please do.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Any citizens like to come forward? None? Commissioner Kitchen, you want to start us off tonight? You got a long list. I said 7 o'clock. Tommy said 7.
That's why I kept writing, because I heard you
We
say.
got a reveal party.
What did Tommy say?
We got a reveal party tonight.
7:01? I can make that. No, seriously, I want to. We talk about this all the time about our employees are our biggest asset and what they do for us and how good they make us look. A lot of times it is easy to sit up here and make decisions when you guys bring us the recommendations that you bring us, and I know we question a lot and all that, but y'all do your homework and bring it to us. And I just want Jason. We joked about him writing this rural broadband initiative, that paper that he brought to us. We had 11 counties that were represented at the meeting, and everybody was like, "How are we going to do this?" Jason stepped up and said, "I'll handle it," and he wrote it. So I mean, these are the things that we do. Matt working with the feeding program and the first readers program. You heard Jeffrey talking about the SCADA system and looking forward thinking, so that we don't get to that point and realize we should have done something else. I just want to say thank you to all of our employees and what they do, because they absolutely make us look good. So thank y'all.
All right. Mr. Robinson?
I agree with everything Sam said.
Did good. Commissioner Martin?
I'm going to agree with Sam. One other thing on the Development Authority, I know we talked about going to 9. Did y'all just do 8 just because, or are we going to do 9 a little bit later?
Well, the Development Authority asked that College Career Academy is a vital part of the Development Authority and wanted to know if she could be included.
Right, but I'm talking about the 9th. Are we going to add the 9th?
It's up to y'all.
Okay, I was just curious.
It's eligible for 9. Okay. We learned between 7 and 9, and while we're in that meeting, they asked if Miss Laura could, because she's invited to a lot of the meetings anyhow.
Right, I was there. I was just curious why. Yeah. Are we going to go to 9? Are we going to add the 9?
We only had the one recommendation, the 8. So
okay,
we could have
Okay.
And getting somebody included that's got knowledge in that field and contribute, like Miss Laura being college and career, she's a very important part of that. And there might be somebody else out there.
Workforce development. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, that's it. Well, I got an opportunity to sit with the city last night on some issues. I let them know that the Massville system's up and running and doing well, and we've got enough water to meet both the county and city's future needs, and hopefully we're going to have some surplus with the addition of another well. We talked about issue with Piedmont Water and their urgent need to have some help by either county or city as far as getting some water to Jones Mill, because of their wells aren't producing what need be to maintain the community that they support. I did talk with them in our original service delivery. If y'all remember, the city asked if they could run a line from Hudson Plantation up to Camelot, and which I thought at the time was going to be a great deal, because they would absorb that part of that loop that we need to continue one day and complete one day to have a complete loop of our water system. But after the city did a little more investigation, they said it wouldn't be beneficial for them. So I made a mention last night that we need to relook at the service delivery on that section and have us change the service delivery. It goes back to the county, so our long-term plans for the water system can continue on with that link running through there one day to complete the loop. And if that happens, that would also mean that the county could then produce or allow Piedmont to tie on in that area so we can get some water. I told them last night the biggest thing is I don't care how they get it, we just need to get it to them. But if the city's not going to run that line, we need to have a workshop. Didn't you say they've got a workshop scheduled?
They do, Thursday at 11. Yes.
11, and we need to, address that service delivery if they're not going to go through it. If we can redo the service delivery on that particular section, so the county can look at, the completion of that loop one day. We might not be here, but at least we've got it in the plan. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. Next.
Me?
Little girl. We're having a reveal party.
Gotta see.
Little girl. Gonna be pink. Okay, now, little girl.
So my baby has new uncles.
Uncle by association.
Egg, but don't open it.
It's gonna be pink. I'm telling you. I got this. Oh my God. I got this. You get the pink. Let me get the pink. That's mine right there. Look here. Pete?
Pink would be in pink.
Huh?
Pink would be in pink.
Baby boy.
All right. Let's see what color's inside. Drum roll.
I told you a mistake.
I say check again.
No.
Pink.
Pink.
I told you.
It's a girl.
All right.
The chairman was right.
Yeah.
So we get the name or two?
Yeah, we've got to figure out some name, so.
Christina's a beautiful name. No, I'm just mine is my daughter.
See, we didn't do an official vote, that's what happened.
Yeah.
We did into the official vote?
I
Y'all
just
wouldn't agree
knew.
with me anyhow, I've been outnumbered.
I knew this time was gonna be a boy, but God had different plans.
That's right.
I have Daddy wrapped right around the little finger.
He's outnumbered. Way outnumbered. He better get a boy dog.
Get it.
It won't help him. Well, is there anything else tonight? Miss Margie, you got anything?
Yeah. Thanks,
I think, Jason, you're gonna be out the rest of the week. Strategic meetings in Athens. He's telling me about some of the tours he's getting ready to take. It sounds like a tough duty to me.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate everything you do. We don't have Commissioner Pitts here, so I'm gonna need some help.
Motion to adjourn, Chairman.
Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Yes, I know it was right. What you gonna do?
I don't know.
Look
You know,
at
I
it.
had nothing
What was
but
the
boy
purple
names
about?
picked out because I knew my little girl put the beans in there and she said purple's for girl too. I said, okay, we'll put pink and purple.
I think everybody would agree with that.
But I just knew it was gonna be a boy, so
I knew all along.
I've been picking out boy names.
You've been glowing for a while. I'm going, I ain't gonna say a word, but you've been glowing.
So is she getting excited?
Yeah, she still says that we don't need another baby because she has a baby cousin. But when we found out it was a girl, she
She was okay with it.
yeah.
Oh, I need
I'm gonna keep that.